Hello, folks. Welcome to Visiomento. For this week's episode, I'll be interviewing The Wake, legends in their field. This is Caesar, and this is Carolyn. And first of all, you've been working on a new record. What can you tell us about that, and do you know when it'll be released?
Well, it's going to be released in the new year, probably January or February. It's called A Light Far Out. It's taken us quite a long time to make it. We've had a few problems making it. Carolyn and I don't have a band anymore, so we're kind of doing it on our own, and we've had to go through quite a long process of trying to add in, kind of ideas.
And we don't really have a budget either.
Yeah, and the budget's been quite low. But it's getting there. We've only got a couple of things to do, another mix and another vocal. What else can I tell you about it? It's kind of got the pop element that The Wake always had, maybe mixed with some of the stuff that we did as the Occasional Keepers. Would you like to explain the Occasional Keepers?
Yes, well, I actually have a little blurb about that in a question.
Yeah.
But that's great, and what I've heard of the record is really amazing, so I can highly recommend it already. As early as 2002, there were rumors that Carolyn and yourself were making music again, but I don't think any of that music ever really saw the light of day, except for one song released under the name The Portal Project. But The Wake didn't really come back until around 2010. Why is that, and what were you doing during those quiet years?
Well, we've been doing theatre projects, so me and Carolyn do theatre projects. Carolyn performs in them and I write and direct them. But I mean, the Portal thing was more. The old Wake albums were reissued in 2002 by LTN Records, and there was a few kind of suggestions that maybe we could do some stuff by various people, but we never really.
We weren't sure if we still had an audience or what we did.
So we kind of sat on it for a while, and then the Occasional Keepers albums are projects that we did with our friend Bobby in London from Trembling Blue Stars and the Field Mice, and we kind of we put together this project, Occasional Keepers, in 2005, and that was a real first serious work that we did again together. I think.
But we still like wrote songs and stuff. But we weren't sure if how to listen.
Yeah. Well, I do think you guys came back just at the right time. I think interest in The Wake is really, there's a lot of buzz right now, it seems to be.
That's because you keep talking about it.
Well, I can't help it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, I don't know if this next question was already kind of answered or not, but if I'm not mistaken, the song Town of 85 Lights was meant to be a full-length Wake album, along with Keys 2. What were your reasons for scrapping these albums, and did these shelf songs maybe make it under the new record?
To be honest, it never really reached the stage of being albums. It was always kind of, I don't know if you go through this yourself as a musician, but basically you start a project and it doesn't really go anywhere for various practical reasons, really, and then.
But we weren't really a band, though.
Yeah, so we were kind of always flirting with the idea of doing something again, but we never really got into the position where we had the right situation to do it in, So Keys to, if you think about it, a lot of people ask for, in theatre we've experienced this as well, a lot of people ask you for advance information about what you're doing, what's the name of the show, what's it about, and you don't have a clue. At the time that people are asking, you just have to say, it's called this, it's about this, we'll finish it then, and sometimes it just doesn't happen, because that's creative work, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just part of the process, I think, of sometimes you see it through, sometimes you don't.
Yeah. The Wake were part of two legendary record labels, Factory Records and Sarah Records. Could you tell us a bit about your experience on both, and what sort of differences you guys noticed from your perspective between the two?
Well, independent record labels when we started out it's a really interesting thing. It wasn't a style of music, it wasn't guitar-based music. it was all kinds of different styles. It was synth bands and all kinds of different music. Sometimes just solo, people just one guitar and a voice. It wasn't a style of music which it tends to be seen as now. It was more about creativity and labels having a way of putting things out in a very basic way. You have an idea, you do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way Factory started.
But a lot of friends were in bands and stuff. So basically it was just getting together with all your friends and then finding a label that might be interested in what you do.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how we got on Factory and Zero.
Yeah, no, totally. But there was an explosion of labels at that time as well. It was
in Glasgow, it's quite a good scene of music.
Yeah,
so
no, totally.
lots
Yeah.
of people
There
wanted
seemed
to
to be
make music at that
something
time.
in the water around
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah.
That's true.
And even before we were in bands, we used to go and see loads of bands.
Yeah,
didn't we?
yeah, no.
And it was quite a healthy music scene.
Sorry to have missed that. So yeah, I read somewhere that some of your disagreements with Factory were kind of over artwork and things like that. How important is artwork and aesthetics to you?
Really important.
Yeah, no, totally, yeah. I mean, it was all part, I think we grew up in a time when bands just took it for granted that was part of your creative work.
Yeah.
You didn't just hand music over to label and they packaged it and put it out.
In fact, you were really into
Yeah.
artwork because of their designers and everything about Factory was quite designed, and the hacienda was really designed. So it was just part of the aesthetic of music at that time.
It really was, yeah. And I think that
It was like a whole thing, wasn't it?
it really was. I think it's proven to be quite a positive thing because people are still interested in the music that came out at that time.
Yeah.
And it's to do with the way it looked, the way it sounded, the whole package.
But it didn't have to be really high tech. It's just as long as whoever was designing it was really caring about what they were doing.
Our stuff was really basic. We used to do it ourselves with a friend.
I love your artwork.
Yeah, well,
but it was quite
so much
influenced.
heritage.
Yeah, and then I think Bobby, who's in Primal Scream, he was quite into design, and he sort of
in the early stuff.
he
That's
helped
true.
design a lot of it, and then we just took it from there, and then we just looked at what Factory were doing as well, and we kind of sort of married up what we were doing to them, and the music was part of it, and then the music influenced how the design looked as well.
Yeah.
Factory stuff was very different. It was, a lot of the other independents were very. It was very punky looking. It was very thrown together and kind of newspaper lettering. And this Factory product came along, and you thought that was really beautiful. There was a lot of money spent on it and everything.
Yeah, because Factory were really but
Factory
Factory were really good with money because it didn't matter how much. If you needed a lot of studio time to do something and you needed a bit of money to design a cover, they would always back you the whole way. So you never had to worry about it or anything.
I think that's a big difference from now. I think people are a lot more penny pinching.
Yes.
They're worried about how much.
Because when we first recorded, we used to get loads of time in a studio in Manchester or wherever we wanted, even if we wanted to go to London. Even if we wanted to record at Abbey Road, we could have done it if we really wanted to.
Wow.
Because Factory were really into making sure that the bands got what they wanted.
Yeah,
but you never get any money back. So.
And neither did they in our case.
Well, that problem persists to this day.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
But you got to get the end product was what you really wanted in the end. It was like the kind of dream that you had in your head. You got to realise it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, as I say, the label's still really popular now with people. People still know about it, and it did make an impact. And I think a lot of major labels could really learn from that.
But we were quite proactive about how we got on Factory because we just went down to the manager of New Order's house, and we went up to him.
We stopped him.
We stopped him and said, "Can we be on Factory?" we released this single on our own, and we really love Factory, and we really like to be on it. And then it just took on board.
Yeah,
but that's the thing. Those people people like Tony Wilson and Rob, who was New Order's manager, were really like that. You know, they just if they thought you believed in an idea.
But basically, we were winging it.
We were winging it, yeah, well, that's
Yeah,
true.
knocking on doors shows
There's
dedication.
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's good
And
way to
we
do
just
things.
enjoyed the whole sort of like going down because we were fans of all the bands. We were sort of like, it was just really good to do.
Wonderful.
Even
I'm
labels
glad
like,
you did.
yeah, well, labels like Postcard in Glasgow as well were really run by people who were winging it, you know, what they
And my
just
brother
like,
Stephen, he was like the drummer in the wake, and then basically he just phoned New Order's manager all the time and just said, "Can we support New Order? Can we support New Order?" And eventually Rob said, "Yeah, okay, you can," and that was it.
That's great. That's so wonderful.